Here's an update on the 51 International L110 that I put onto a 2003 GMC Yukon chassis. Carly decided that she wanted to go back to a stock height of the truck. It's still all-wheel drive with 4 high, 4 low. We're gonna go with some skinnier tires though. That way they don't fill out the wheel well and they look more aero correct. And then we do have the international hubcaps that I gotta weld tabs on the wheel to lock the hubcaps in. So I just finished the metal work on the bed chop to make it fit onto the chassis. If you didn't know, it was an 8-foot bed that we had to cut down 11 inches to make it fit onto the chassis versus stretching the chassis. So it's a 7-foot bed. So it's still a foot longer than the factory short bed, which is 6 feet. Just got the rear bumper mocked up. I need to do some welding here. It was damaged and pushed in pretty far, so I had to do relief cuts on each side. But now it's gonna be all lined up and not pushing the fenders into the tires. I ended up installing these 1950s GM reverse lights on our bumper. We still got to get new tail lights. Since we cut the bed side down on that side, or on both sides, the spare tire used to be over there in between the spare tire, or in between the wheel well and the front of the bed. When we cut it down, that space didn't fit anymore, so the factory short beds had a spare tire cut out in the fender, so the spare tire would go here. Well, I ended up having to graft this fender in because the fender I got was all rusted out and everything, so I just cut the bucket out and welded the bucket in, and I got a little more metal work on that. The goal is not to do any filler because we're gonna try and blend this patina in. The green part will be black, so that's about it. But yeah, the whole goal would be to blend it all in. That way it looks like it's there, or it looked like it's been there the whole time. We did do GM universal tilt column with shifter on it, turn signals, but we're still keeping the key on the dash. We got this wood grain steering wheel. I just finished the transmission hump. I need to weld it into the floor and then seam weld everything. These 2 bars are floor stiffeners that are gonna go underneath there's a cross member here and a cross member back here. To try and stiffen it up because the original truck had the floor bracing going up and over the transmission. Well, with the swap, we didn't have room, so made that little trans tunnel. ECU's all mounted up. The fuse box and OD port are gonna go up there. I just need to build a bracket. We're getting custom gauges. That's gonna have like speed over here, and this one will have tack with like 2 other like water temp and like oil pressure on it with the turn signals built into it. But they're gonna look retro. Started mocking up a radiator. Super tight and kind of narrow. So this one is out of a Jeep JK that I just had laying around. I need to see if I can make brackets for it. It fits. There's clearance here from the hood. The radiator hose, I really don't want to cross over the engine. I'd rather have it out here. So I need to see if I can find a radiator that's close to this size that just has the inlet and the outlet on one side. That way we can go to the water pump on both sides and the thermostat. So that's getting closer. I'm gonna do the battery under here, just do a small like Honda sized battery. It's not gonna have a ton of electronics in it. It's not gonna have a big stereo system. So as long as the battery can start it, then it should be good. That way that's all out of the way. The firewall here, it had ribs and everything going through it, so I ended up cutting the firewall out and just putting sheet metal in there to support it up so it had a good flat surface, because I was running into issues of having to put washers and everything in there. So that's all filled in, and we found the original paint code, so we're gonna go have that made, and then this is gonna be the only thing that's gonna have the original paint. Is gonna be the firewall area. Got the bumper on. It was pretty beat up, so there's some cuts to make it kind of straight, but it's on there. We got new lights, not new, but a good set I could restore. We ended up finding some mustache bars. I can't really see here. They were pretty bent. They're still pretty bent, but it matches the front of the truck. So those are pretty hard to find. They're all either unpainted or stainless. So straighten them out the best I could. So it's all getting close. Just need to fill my welding tank up and then start welding everything in. So we're getting closer. Next is going to be installing the shifter rod selector for the steering wheel. So that's going to be the next thing. That's about all I have for right now. Once I start getting more stuff done and welded in, and hopefully the bumper's done and everything, then I can start working on the supports for the running board. I saved them off the original frame. I'm going to see if I can make them work with this frame. If not, then I'm just going to have to do like 2x2 box squaring, or square tubing, but there's 4 supports that are on there that I got to get on both sides.